Yo ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper returning with the Hero Association, man. I'm out here with the greats for the One Punch Man podcast. Today we're covering chapter 98 discussion. We had a little scuffle issue yesterday with our recording, so we are gonna have to re-record today. What's going on, guys? How do you guys? Let's slow it down, bro. What y'all niggas on today, bro? What's going on?
On some lean, some Zan.
Ooh. Man, I'm just chilling, bro. Kind of mad. Falcons won that game last night, bro. I really needed the Falcons to lose. Chapter was good though.
What's good, Matt?
Hey, yeah, chapter was so good. Like art, designs, everything was incredible. Like it was I said yesterday, but I'll say it again because obviously no one heard. The whole thing I described this chapter as is like if you ask someone who knew almost nothing about anime to describe anime, it is just like this monster's shown up and he's got a new form. Better get a giant robot to fight him now. It's very good. It's a 9 out of 10. Great designs, great art. Everything's just so good.
Oh man, like I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there was in one of the podcasts I specifically mentioned a few times that Phoenix Man was trash.
I swear to God, you said that. I know you said that.
So previously on the One Punch Man podcast.
That was literally how we ended the last one. It literally ended with you going Phoenix Man's trash. I went Phoenix Man's the best.
No, I was open to the idea of a boy coming back, and he came back in style this time. So yeah, I take back Phoenix Man is trash, and I'm really hyped to see where this is gonna go next.
Nah, bro, you can't. That's an L, bro. Take that.
Just like the Giants last night, man.
So as the guys mentioned, this chapter was spectacular, man. There are many different talking points that we could address. There are many different occurrences and even different fighting styles and fighting capabilities that have been revealed to us. So we're probably going to address some power scaling today, as well as the development of the story. Let's start at the top. G5. What are your thoughts on G5 having read the chapter?
They haven't really changed. Like I still see him as this mysterious character, and we'll kind of see what he can do. Hopefully, well, I imagine when we next see him, he's going to be there with Cerberus defeated. I can't see obviously, like I don't think anyone sees Cerberus winning this fight. But there isn't really much to say about G5 because we barely see him, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. We haven't seen it. Like we don't have enough information from this chapter to gauge where he is power wise. But if we're just going based on our feelings, I feel like he should be stronger than Phoenix Man. I'm pretty sure we'll see that next chapter because I don't want to go into deep right now, but I have a feeling that we'll definitely get confirmation on where his strength is next chapter.
Gonna have to disagree with that and say that G5, I like the idea that he pulled out his second sword, so he's got both of his swords out at the moment. He seems to be a two-sword style kind of cyborg or whatever he is, a machine. But I don't think he's going to be stronger than Phoenix Man. Phoenix Man reincarnated is a dragon level fighter, and I don't think G5 is going to be anywhere near that. But yeah, I mean, same thing as Matt. I haven't really got anything more to add to G5. We didn't really get to see much of him. He was subdued by that kind of slime thing that was fired at him, and that was about it. Cerberus should defeat it pretty handily, and hopefully we'll get to see G5 probably put in some work, but I don't think he's going to do much.
I appreciate you guys for staying reserved in your comments here because you know what I'm going to say. So let's just get it out of the way. I think G5 is Drive Night. And the short and the long of it is that Drive Knight's disappearance and G5's appearance syncs up, and their mannerisms, and along with other variables such as aesthetics and everything else, it all points to G5 either being Drive Knight or associated with him somehow. So that means that in the next chapter, maybe the chapter after this one, or after that one, likely Drive Knight will be reintroduced into the story or related to G5 somehow. I mean, why are they cutting away from G5 so much? I mean, if he's such, just a throwaway character, why not just throw him away? They're building up to something.
Well, it's fun that you bring that up. After listening to all your replies and after watching Zhoniin's video about the theory, check that out. I kind of think that G5 is gonna become a dragon. That's why I think we've been panning away from him, because we attempted to discuss whether G5 and Phoenix Man are going to team up. And if they do, how catastrophic would that be? And if they don't, is it because they can't work together as a team or whatever it may be? I kind of feel like when G4 came out of his original suit of armor, his original big ass, fucking mech or whatever, that he wasn't necessarily excessively inferior to that other state. But he didn't necessarily get stronger. So I'd love to see the opposite perspective in this aspect, where instead of fucking G5, once he gets his ass beat, him fucking downgraded to a smaller size to get away or something, he fucking Zords up too, dog. I'm trying to see two Megazords really go at it. This is Japan. This is a Japanese story, and Megazords and mechs and Gundams all come from Japan. I was able to not accurate. Let me not toot my own horn, bro. Look, we got a mech. Child put out a mech. That shit was badass as fuck, destructive as fuck. Bro, that shit was amazing. So G5 gonna do the same exact thing.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm on board for that. Hell, give everyone a mech. Give Waganma a mech.
I need that. I need that so much. I need a Wagama mech. I need it.
Oh man. See, I'm down with Zhoniin's idea of G5 being Drive Knight. I'm totally cool with that. And if it were to happen, I feel like it would be a really good fight to see like Phoenix Man, now that he's dragon level monster. I think it'd be cool to see kind of Drive Knight and Child Emperor team up, because I don't want this to be an easy fight for Child Emperor, even though now he's in his Brave Giant mecha. I want to see him go all out, and it'd be awesome to have Drive Knight assist Child Emperor in taking out Phoenix Man reincarnated, now that he's a dragon style or dragon level monster. So
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because they will team up, and why else would they have the whole time limit thing to the mech? Like that. I think the time limit thing is going to play into him needing help against Phoenix Man, and this is when Drive Knight's going to come in. And man, if Murata and One are going to do what I'm thinking, it's going to be incredible.
Fuck it, dog. Fuck it. Just drop it on us, dog. Just drop it on us.
Oh, okay. So Drive Knight is going to eventually help Child Emperor, who is in dire straits as his mech is about to reach its limit, or maybe it's already reached its limit. So Drive Knight's going to come out, and he's going to do something that we haven't seen before. Either like an even crazier sword, or like a beam cannon, whatever, and he's just going to nuke Phoenix Man. So this is going to set up how strong Drive Knight is exactly, because we don't really know at this point in the story. We've seen him take down tigers and shit, but other than that, he hasn't really done anything on the level of the other S-Class heroes. So this will be his introduction to the power scale, as well as jobbing Phoenix Man in the process. So after this, they're going to have a whole back and forth between Child Emperor and Drive Knight. Drive Knight is going to convince Child Emperor that everything he's been doing was for the greater good. And then he's going to take Waganma, and Drive Knight will leave with him, and he's going to take him back to safety. So that eliminates Drive Knight from the rest of this arc, and then Child Emperor stays because whatever, he's support and he needs to be there. Also, it makes sense with story wise. And as Drive Knight
To
leaving,
leave the
also
kid? Oh, you're heartless.
What are you talking about?
to have the killer robot with a fucking lightsaber that can fucking
He's Drive Knight. He's not Killer Robot.
man.
No, but to be fair, I like that whole idea. I mean, like, I'm totally down if that does happen, and I can see it happening because the similarities between G5 and Drive Knight, they're there, but also because that time limit was made like explicitly clear. I mean, like, I think he has 2 minutes 58 seconds or something like that, and for them to put that on a mech that has just come into the story, it's I mean, like, Phoenix Man already knows that this brave giant has this weakness. I mean, G5's got to be Drive Knight, and there's got to be an assist. It's got to be 2-on-1 at this point, and I'm really hoping to see something new from Drive Knight, like you said. But I just want to see some badass. I mean, like, I noticed in this one that, like, just something off topic, that G5 looked a shit ton like Shredder, but
Yeah, for sure.
I don't hate what you guys are all saying. Like, don't worry, I want to see more Drive Knight, but I feel like this whole thing is supposed to be Child Emperor's big moment. Like, he's had his small moments, but like it's supposed to be like his first big fight, like we got with Flashy Flash, in the last chapter. Like, that was his big moment to show what he could do, and I want this to be Child Emperor's big moment too. So I don't want, as much as I want to see Drive Knight join in, I don't want to see him take away from Child Emperor and make Child Emperor look worse just because Drive Knight's there to save the day.
Bro, I swear, bro, Matt is the truth. Like, I feel the exact same way. If Drive comes in this pivotal situation and he gives the assist to Child, when this is just one dragon, we don't even know if a G5 is gonna turn into a dragon. That's not even like likely or not. We've never seen that or have reason to assume that. So let's assume that he stays a demon. That's a demon and a dragon that Child Emperor can't deal with, and he's a number 5 hero, I believe. That's like,
Yeah, he's number 5.
that's almost unacceptable. To see Flashy, and we all know how the ranks don't necessarily signify strength, but to see Flashy body 2 niggas like that, and then Child can't even deal with one.
For an S-class hero to deal with a dragon, regardless of whether it's low, mid, or high, is very impressive for even an S-class hero. The power level disparity between an S-class hero and monsters is stated to be the equivalent of 1 demon. So an S-class hero is minimum at strength, the level of a demon. And we've seen Genos struggle with plenty of demons, as well as some other S-class heroes as well. So Child Emperor being able to defeat a dragon by himself is very impressive. And if he isn't really able to get the job done, but puts up a really good fight, that too is impressive.
Could you
See, go ahead.
No, you got it.
See, what I think is going to happen with Child Emperor, I think he's going to beat Phoenix Man in his suit, and then after that, that's when G5 shows up, and then Child Emperor is like, oh shit, and then maybe he sends a distress signal to Drive Knight, and then I think that's how it'll play out. It would be funny if it's a situation like in Teen Titans where you had Robin and he would, he was red. Y'all watch Teen Titans, right?
No
Yeah,
doubt.
shout out to
Yeah.
Teen Titans from back in the
Shout
day.
out to Teen Titans. Yeah.
Go.
It'll be funny if how Robin wore the Red X suit, and then there was an episode where some random nigga was in a Red X suit, and he was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" It was like, "Who is this?"
Yeah,
It'd be
fine.
funny if it was a situation like where Drive Knight, that's his suit or something, and he's like, "Yo, who's like in this suit?" But like everybody said, or like what Matt and Grimm said, I think this if Drive Knight were to save Child Emperor, that would take away from him. Him being the 5th ranked S class hero, I feel like he has to take out Phoenix Man. He has to, in my opinion.
well, what I'm kind of hoping is that Drive Knight just kind of like walks up with his bag of goodies, throws them at Child Emperor, and he does his own thing. So like, if he just walks up to him with that suitcase he's always carrying, and he assists him that way rather than actually fighting with him, he just gives him the means to take out Phoenix Man, and then Child Emperor proceeds to take out Phoenix Man. would that still be good for you guys, or?
Um,
Nah.
cause what I wanted to ask Zhoniin is like that's definitely all right. If you guys will listen or try to remember back to the viewers or scroll back into the video when he said that, he was showing us a different perspective of the power scaling. It's obvious. It's obvious that me, Matt, and Satsuki are don't have a completely different viewpoint, but it's different enough that there's a scaling difference. We're obviously speaking relative. Obviously, all S-class heroes should be able to do as they can, and we've seen excessively impressive demons. The majority of the impressive monsters, cool-looking monsters in the series, have been demons, with the exception of the badass dragons. So, I would like to get more examples, or if anybody has like more justification as to why we should see demons as a stronger threat.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the most monsters revealed have been demons.
Yeah, because they're the most common threat. It sets the bar because, like you said, Zhoniin, like an S-class hero is about one demon. So to constantly keep setting that bar of like, okay, these are like roughly kind of S-class level opponents, it makes sense for the kind of to set the threat high.
But like, that's what I'm asking because I want more evidence. Because like, we can say that all right, every S-class hero should be a demon. So if you fight a demon, you should most likely win, even though there are circumstances. But we've seen higher or mid-tier S-class heroes perform above that. So I'm not saying that we should compare what they excel at, but that's kind of what the rankings are about. Each one has enough skill to be in the S rank, so they know they're capable. So we're speaking relatively now within the S class. Out of the enormous feats, which of these feats should we expect of them, and should the rank like give us an acceptable expectation for them? Should I expect Child Emperor to do more than Genos?
In a combat aspect, no. And the rankings, they're weird. They're kind of a red herring in themselves because they don't reflect the power, obviously. There's so many other variables that go into it, and you wind up getting guys like Flashy Flash at, what is he, like 15 or something?
Yeah, some low ass shit for some.
And it just doesn't really make sense. So Child Emperor at number 5 is a red herring in itself, in my opinion, because like, clearly he is not in the top 5 most capable and powerful S-class heroes. So, I mean, of course, he's intelligent. Maybe he's popular. Maybe he's taking care of a lot of monsters. And he also seems to be like the coach of the team in a way. So I think that influences it. But Child Emperor isn't a foot soldier. Like, there's a reason why it has the task of rescuing Waganma. Because he's not the guy who's supposed to be fighting dragons. He's supposed to be figuring out how to defeat them and taking action any way he can. That's why we have guys like Darkshine, Flashy Flash. Those are the dragon busters.
So you're saying we should be excessively impressed that Child is doing this well up against this type of dragon?
Absolutely. I think he's going above and beyond his Call of Duty in these 2 chapters.
He's definitely put on the most, or one of the most impressive displays in terms of abilities.
Like he admitted that Phoenix Man is essentially as strong as a monster that he's capable of fighting. Like, that's it. Any stronger than Phoenix Man, he likely will not win. At least that's what I feel is implied, what he was talking about before he summoned Brave Giant.
No, that makes sense because obviously he said like he has to call his trump card against Phoenix Man.
Well, Phoenix Man's reveal was so exceptional. Once again, we got to cut off the movement because we have to give praise when praise is needed. Can we all agree that this Phoenix Man panel was top tier?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
certainly.
It was
100%, of course.
it was giving me like the Super Saiyan for the first time vibes with like the whole flash of light, the explosion, awesome kind of one-liner kind of thing.
You're damn right. That's the exact soundtrack that I used in my video when I showed Phoenix Man's reveal. It was like the Super Saiyan post-transformation glow sound effect.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was getting those vibes, man. I was like, his design is just awesome as well. I mean, like he has that kind of that eye-looking breastplate as well. Now I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be, but it looks dope.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil Soul Calibur-esque.
Yeah.
Who's the most badass looking dragon?
Black Sparrow.
Oh,
Get the fuck out
okay.
of here, bro. Get the fuck out
Okay.
of here.
I wasn't expecting that way.
All right, who's unironically coolest looking dragon?
Didn't we
Can you
have a name for Black Sperm? I think we had a name for Black Sperm. What are we supposed to call him before we
He
get
was-
like flagged?
Oh, BS.
Oh, I thought it was the fifth Teletubby.
The fifth Teletubby. It might have been BS. I think it was BS. My bad. Hopefully, there's something.
Man, you already know. You already
I mean,
know.
we could say it on here. I mean, if Grimm's cool with it.
What?
Black sperm.
What the?
No, because I said about how you deemed it an inappropriate character for a general audience, so a video centered around it is age restricted. Even though they literally said it does not violate any of their community guidelines, they just deemed it inappropriate.
Really?
I swear to God.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's one of the oddest answers I've ever gotten from YouTube. They basically were like, yeah, I mean, you're safe, but fuck you.
Pretty much, man.
Oh shit.
So shout out to YouTube.
So Phoenix looked better than Hellfire and Gilman and shit?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he got the double page spread for it. Like, for his reveal, that's what he...
Spread something else.
Bruh.
Black Sperm.
Oh my god.
Alright, so how impressed were you guys by Child Emperor's tech in this chapter?
I mean, I think
Shoot.
we've been saying it this whole thing, man. That Gundam, mech, whatever you want to call it, is just too sweet.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny how what were they called? Underdogs.
Yeah, I think so.
Underdog man.
Yeah, how he summoned 3 of them, and I really liked how lazy Murata must have been. I mean, like there's a panel where they just get in like a triangle kind of formation,
Bro, I was
and
like,
then suddenly,
what the fuck is going on?
It's like, fuck it.
Oh shit.
I think that just makes the reveal for, like, Cerberus, though, even better. Just the simpleness of that. And then you just get that great design of Cerberus, man.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's the one.
He looked cool, but like, man, after that shit, I was turned way off. No homo, bro.
I would have liked a disaster level from him.
I mean, do you think he killed fucking G5?
Hell no. G5 is still alive. He has to be. If G5 died from that, he's a scrub officially. Like, no debate.
How do you think the fan will react if Cerberus man walks around the corner holding G5's head? I think they're going to be
Oh my
happy about
god.
I think that would be the reaction. Just laughing and then anger.
What the fuck, dog? Like a motherfucker looks so fucking cool to get just bodied. Like, oh man, that's why
What One Punch Man does.
every time. Like, it's. All right, so back on the tech. Phoenix Man broke through the film. Is that about right, or is that film crazy strong?
The film is crazy strong, for sure.
It's better off just showing, like, the difference between a demon and a dragon class more than anything. Like, just obviously the idea that he can break through 5 no problem, where in demon he struggled to, like, he couldn't even break through 1. It's
like hurt him.
Yo, Phoenix Man was a pussy. Let's have to. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Man, original Phoenix Man is trash. He was straight
Original
trash.
Phoenix Man was the best.
And then the backstory, man. So, I wanted to speculate about that too. Let's just like we were able to gather information about the Ninjaverse. Let's gather some information about monstrification in One Punch Man. What do we know so far?
That was it. I was gonna say I could read Dr. Genus's monologue, but I'd rather Satsuki explain it.
Did you say
I
Dr.
was about
Penis?
to say, wait, what?
The nigga said Dr.
Did you
Penis.
say genus or penis?
Oh,
Dr. Genus
Yeah.
is penis.
This guy, man. We should never have brought up BS, man.
we learned, well, not learned, but this is brought up again that doing something excessively. Hold on 1 second. Someone's at my door.
Damn, the
Dr.
hose is
Penis.
not good.
Someone take it away.
No doubt.
Zhoniin, you're up.
All right, let's do it. So, Dr. Genus gives us a very accurate, in-depth expositional monologue as to what is going on with the monster transformation, and I'm stalling right now because I'm looking for it.
Yeah, you can tell.
Can you tell us the chapter number as well?
Chapter 8.
So there's monster cells as well. Monster cells is the easiest way to become a monster. That's the simplest way. You eat the cell. We don't know how you get them, but it's like a quick power boost. It's not as it's not as strong as like the growth of like nearly dying and overcoming it. But it's the quickest way to get monsters.
All right, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just give you a condensed version. So when a monster transforms into a monster, it is caused by an abnormal cell reaction triggered by an explosion of negative emotions. These stem from unsatisfied needs or the desire to change into someone else. There's also ways you can transform through environmental changes. They trigger mutations. And then there's like the research and science shit that goes on. And then pollution is a factor as well. And then there's it's implied that there's monsters that are born monsters, like the what are they, the sea folk?
Yeah. All right. So the main point is that it stems from this kind of deep-rooted desire to want to change from your current situation and being unhappy with your current situation.
So it's like negative emotions plus things about yourself equals monster, like an explosion, an explosive growth.
Those are definitely the narrative details that we know of, but inside the story, even Todd Emperor himself can't deduce the exact parameters. It seems that an individual who just didn't take his costume off, but because his character endured all these like fucking deaths continuously, that he was attributed with those capabilities. So, like, is this technically like one of the best like narrative pieces that we have in manga today? If you like, if you step back and think about it like that for me,
battle manga for sure. I mean, it's up there because of how nuanced it is. Really, that's why I really like One Punch Man in general, because it is nuanced and it is below the surface and it is intentional. Like, a lot of people like to go way too in depth into other battle manga, when honestly I don't even think the writers cared as much as some of these guys put effort into it. And I may even be ironically calling myself out here, but regardless,
there's a lot of hidden layers underneath.
Yeah, we can assume that there's like some kind of supernatural element to all of this. And in this world of One Punch Man, it is assumed that literally every single person has the ability to become a monster simply because of the way things work in that world. And it's kind of like the My Hero Academia world, where 80% of the population is born with a quirk. And all of these quirks, they seem like ideas for the most part. Like, it's not necessarily something that is already occurring in nature, similar to like the devil fruits. So this is like a supernatural force, and this is exactly why Phoenix Man is able to inherit the abilities of an idea. It's oddly nuanced. So, but we also have to really suspend our disbelief here to accept that it is a supernatural force after all. Also, like in real life, if you honestly believe something enough, such as like an ailment or something, you can become that, or you can become inflicted with that illness. Like it happens, like extreme placebo cases, things like that. So essentially, this is like taking it to the next level, where your thoughts are literally becoming tangible.
I've heard several iterations of that. The placebo effect is indeed real. I've also heard wishing things into existence. I believe there's even an entire like social or like I don't know. I know this is like a practice where like people actively teach themselves or teach each other to speak positive or speak what you want to occur into existence. And
Yeah, it's there's a whole book on it. It's called The Secret.
yeah, yeah, and that seems to like in my personal experience in life, I have noticed a correlation. Causation and correlation are two different things. I have noticed a correlation in the minimalist of that, but I attribute it to different things. So I could definitely see that being the same thing in the manga. Satsuki, were you gonna say something?
No.
All right.
Put that.
All right. So
Keep that in the podcast. No.
All right. So now that we've addressed a little bit of how you can become a monster, the motherfucker Zombie Man has a power that's similar to this. It is not the exact same thing, but you can kill Zombie Man. How do you kill Zombie Man and Phoenix Man?
I have to
imagine...
go back. My bad.
Go on. No, go on. Go on.
I have to go back and see exactly how Child Emperor killed him. I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'm 100% sure that he didn't cut his head off, but that could be one thing. Of I gotta see. Yeah, I gotta go back and see how exactly he killed him to make sure. But that's one thing. That's like a typical thing, like cutting someone's head off or going for the brain.
Yeah, I mean, my answer to this in Phoenix Man's case anyway, because I'm not too sure about Zombie Man's abilities, but in Phoenix Man's case, it's just make sure to kill him dead, because the whole point is that these monsters are able to kind of exponentially grow in power when they almost taste death, but they're not quite close enough to death that they actually die. So with Phoenix Man, I'm not sure, but I don't think he's actually immortal. He just came back from death because he wasn't actually dead. He was close enough that he underwent this monsterification again and became a dragon level monster. But I don't think he'd actually come back if you killed him.
So this was not an attribute of that character originally. This occurred because of this stressful instance.
I'm not too sure, because he does actually mention in this chapter that he didn't die. He was just, I think he says something about being at death's door, but not quite dead.
Yeah, no, that's right. He was confirming what Giro said. That's.
So
I was going to say, because otherwise that would be just OP if like he could just regenerate and grow more powerful. The only way I could see, like, same with Zombie Man, is like you have to fully destroy the body. Like, I imagine Child Emperor could do it if obviously got a giant mech. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a laser or something to just decimate the body. But it has to be a case of like leaving like nothing there for it to just be full, to make sure fully that they can't come back.
Yeah, I don't think this is an inherent ability of Phoenix Man. Like, I think they made it specifically clear that this was similar to what happened to Garo in his original fight against Royal Ripper and Bug God. He was slashed up, very similar, left in a pool of blood, and he came back, similar to like Phoenix Man. And then, Phoenix Man then, like Matt says, goes on to explain Giro said. And I know that we get the exposition about him coming back on the show, but I think this is just an example, really, calling out the whole Phoenix thing in the end. I don't think they're related. I could be wrong. And hey, he comes back 10 times and he becomes a disaster level god because it is a phoenix after all. You know, that's a popular comment.
So then we're agreeing, or at least coming to a consensus that if you kill Phoenix Man after this, he's dead. Or
Yes.
or does it have to be the case, like Matt said, where you have to obliterate the body, or else he'll come back, whether it being the same exact strength or whether it being a superior form? Can Phoenix Man come back if you leave him on death's door again?
I think most monsters can.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kill them. You can't just hack them up and just hope that they're dead. Like, you gotta like double tap them.
Yeah, I mean, like, it looks like it's in the nature of a monster to once they reach death's door, they're only gonna get stronger and come back. So you'd rather not leave that chance. You gotta apply double tap.
Also, I want Phoenix Man to go sooner rather than later because, like, they build like Phoenix Man's great and all, but we haven't even seen what the executives can do, and I don't want him to be built up so much, and it makes the executives look not as great as they can be.
I'm glad that you brought them up because these couple chapters that we've been seeing and the whole thing with demons becoming dragons, honestly, it's awesome and everything. That goes without saying, but it's just subtle hype for the executives. Because you're looking like, oh, this is dragon? Holy crap, these guys are strong. And then you're like, oh, wait, aren't the executives also dragons?
Yeah, I thought about it like that too, but that's why I wanted to have the conversation about monstrification, because do we have strong evidence to say a monster cell makes you just stronger than a person who went monstrification, or vice versa? Like, does monstrification make you just stronger than a monster cell? Or can we say it's ambiguous and based upon the situation?
Well, the monster cell is stated to just instantly give you a boost of power, and then that's it. You can't improve after. It's like essentially taking one cycle of steroids, and that's all you can ever do. As where with monstrification and what Garrow is going through, you could just keep improving upon that. So it's like either you want to grind your game and get to the level cap that way, or you can just buy DLC that gets you to a level close to the level cap, but that's it.
That's the best way to put it.
That really was. Alright, I mean, I guess we'll see, because you definitely put it in a really, really clear light that these dragons that we're seeing now preliminarily are of the lower tier for a reason. You know, kind of to show the gap between a high tier dragon and a lower one. Already having this information, we can then speculate to see that maybe a few heroes won't be able to deal with some of these real dragons. Maybe it was real that they could not take down a centipede like that. Maybe there are certain niggas that the entire association can't defeat. I don't think that's going to be the case anytime soon. But in the meantime, let's talk about one more important factor that occurred in this chapter. Child Emperor's a bitch.
Oh my god.
He started crying mid fight. You know, obviously he wanted to power up and shit. You know, oh, I'm too weak and shit. I gotta use my shit already. What's gonna happen next? But like, he's still competent, as we pointed out. Can like, what can we, in terms of predictions, expect for Child Emperor moving forward? Like, is this experience gonna like demoralize him? Is he gonna like bounce back twice fold with better tech, better everything because of like how he's seen that he's not enough? Is he gonna change from like a solely intelligence fighter and takes a physical prowess secondary to a juggernaut in offensive force like Metal Knight? What should we expect from Child Emperor to both finish this fight and after the fight?
I think he's going to be more prepared anytime he goes into a fight, more so, and try to think of possibilities outside of what he normally thinks, because Phoenix Man surprised him And even in the chapter, even after he cried, like after he got the suit, he looked pretty confident after that. But yeah, I think it's just going to be him trying to better his tech and preparing for dragon level monsters because, like I said, Phoenix Man came out of nowhere basically. So he's just going to be more prepped up for a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crying was more kind of because his pride was wounded that he had to pull out his best weapon against this creature who he essentially already has defeated. So it's more of a pride thing rather than child abuse part two. And yeah, I think later on he's just going to be having seen Phoenix Man, a dragon level monster. He's just going to be way more prepared in terms of these are types of monsters I need to be prepared for, and anything above him because of how easily he was defeated the first time. I'm assuming there's things above him. I got to be prepared for that stuff too. So I think Satsuki's right. He's just going to be a lot more prepared. And to be honest, it would be a good point for him to physically prepare himself as well. I mean, like, because he did get struck and thrown against the wall. So just having a physical body that's stronger than what it is right now would be a benefit to him.
I mean, obviously he had a shield, but doesn't that say a lot about Child Emperor? The fact he's 10, he took an attack like with a shield, of course, from a dragon class, and he's still up and he's still okay.
With a lightsaber in his hand, bro.
I have many questions about that. Like, we don't really get to the bottom of like Child Emperor's physicality. Like, it's kind of explored in the numbers bonus chapter, but then again, it's really not at the same time.
Could you elaborate a bit more?
Well, his strength from the Okami man rated at like 1880, which compared to a bear is like 1,000 more than that. But he also says something about, is it low? My strength isn't physical, or something along those lines. But also we're seeing here that he can tank being hit by a friggin' dragon. Well, not tank it, but like, he's a little kid getting hit by the force of that. And regardless of his shield, that's like getting hit by like a truck. Maybe even more than that. So I think there may be more to him than just him being a genius.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, like, I was expecting him to go down after or at least be like a little bit more severely injured when his back hit the wall, and I was like, he's basically being hit by freaking Moltres here. I mean, like,
yeah.
I was expecting more damage, and all it really was that his pride was wounded.
Ow, my pride.
There goes my pride.
That's also his nickname for his spine. So,
hey.
So
but yeah, he totally is Moltres.
That suit though, like, what was it, like a 2 minute 38 seconds? So probably like a 3 minute time limit to that suit. What's is that trash? Like, what's up with that?
Better than Geno's and shit.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, 2 minutes and 38 seconds in One Punch Man land, it might as well be like an hour. I mean, if you can pilot a dragon level Gundam, which we can assume it's dragon level, because come on, that's pretty significant.
I think more than anything, like, the time limit doesn't say about like it being trash. It's more about how strong it is. It's like such an anime thing to do. Just have like a time limit on a technique because you can only use it for so long because it's that powerful. It's like, obviously the one that really came to mind for me was like Luffy in Gear 4. Like, he can only use it for a certain amount of time, but when he's in that form, like, there aren't many people he can go up against who he can lose against.
There you go. That's a good analogy. But I also like that it grounds it. Like, it grounds this ability, which I think we need more of in battle manga in general. It's nice to have overpowered stuff and everybody to have their comeuppance once in a while, but just keep it grounded. Like, we don't want to have to just be like, oh, he's OP. That's cool. But, with Child Emperor, it's like, oh, he's OP. but only for 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
I mean, like, it could just be the total reverse of that and be like a Hitsugaya from Bleach thing, where it's a countdown to kind of his true power unleashing. I mean, like, Hitsugaya had those petals behind him, which were a countdown to his power.
Damn, Sundown with the flip. All right.
Like you remember that? Did anybody read Bleach or?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I know about it. I
Is
know
that
about it.
deep into the story?
Sorry.
Is that deep into the story when that's revealed?
That's like almost the end kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Basically, when things were going like, when shit was hitting the fan and the story writing became quite bad.
Relax, dog. Relax.
Sorry. So it's still
Yeah,
some
it's like you're making fun of a dead person.
still some trauma there, man. I'm just like, but yeah, so it could be one of those things where it's a countdown to his true power being unleashed rather than like a breakdown in his Megazord or whatever.
I wanna give the contrasting opinion to you and Matt. I don't believe that it's a countdown to a power up, and I don't believe that the time limit is to emphasize his strength. But that's because I've only seen him smack a bird. So when I see him pull out, some cannons and a blade from that mech, when I see wings come out, when I see a portable shield, when I see drones that come out from the mech, when I see like wheels that pop out whenever he's on the ground, when I see some crazy ass shit from this mech, I'll yield immediately as this mech is OP. But until then, this is a regular fucking Colossus.
I'm hoping he's actually got a lot more set up in terms of he sent out a whole bunch of those drones that were designed to scout out the Monster Association and the tunnels leading down into the Monster Association. So I'm hoping he has like little compartments or little additions to this brave giant that he can use scattered around that just kind of fly in as the time's like getting closer to the end of his usage. So like for instance, if he hid like a sword or something, and then once that breaks away, something, a gun or something like that, then a lightsaber, whatever, just a whole bunch of different things. Because he did send a whole bunch of these different scouts.
So are you thinking like an Iron Man thing where he's got like all when he gets his like Ironmonger suit, like he's got all the stuff in the air, and like when stuff breaks, he can send stuff down to fix it and like upgrade it.
Yeah, great analogy. Yeah, exactly the same thing.
I'd like to see that in the future.
Oh, there is a way that somebody could. Okay, earlier we were talking about how the most likely people to interfere with the Child Emperor situation is probably going to be Drive Knight, right? There's really nobody else who's going to come help. But Keishan gave us the probable theory about the communicator. So, is it now plausible for any hero to actually show up or any villain to actually show up because of that? Still, or is that not the case now with this chapter, or like how the story's going to? Should it still most likely be Drive Knight?
If G5 isn't Drive Knight, then that's the hero I'm betting on to show up.
Does
But-
Drive Knight doesn't have a communicator though, does he? I think it was only the people who were really part of the raid who've got communicators.
Yeah, but if you remember Keisha's,
Yeah, that's true.
Keisha's theory was that because Flashy lost his communicator, that could be an instance or the opening for a monster to use it to draw in a hero, or for another hero to pick it up coincidentally, or for it to be used in a manner that would cause a contradiction or an issue in the story. So I was like, if anything but the drive thing was going to happen, that's most likely what's going to happen. But if anything else could happen, how would it happen? And I'm thinking, okay, that's the most plausible thing. The communicator's gone. Fucking Rover's going to pick that shit up. Hear motherfucking Child Emperor screaming for help. He's going to come through and blow that nigga to smithereens. Child abuse, hashtag.
You know what? Here's an option for the communicator in the water. We get one single panel of the executive that is just in a tank of water with eyes. He might pick it up.
Cool?
He's been shown
Evil
before?
natural water.
Even natural.
Yeah.
He's been shown before in the manga?
Just once, one single time. I think chapter 90 or 89 one.
Yeah, hot pot. It's literally when they're introducing everyone. He's literally just in a tank with an eyeball floating around in it.
Yeah, it's when we got that montage of all the dragon level monsters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my.
but
So
we
it's possible he could be in that water, or maybe he could be in all water simultaneously.
just because Grimm's got me thinking now, because next one is chapter 99 as well. If like this whole fight goes down, it's big. Child Emperor calls for help, and if it is the Monster Association who've got a hold of it, and then like an executive shows up for chapter 100.
Oh shit!
That'd be dope.
Oh,
I hope he has something planned for 100. That would be cool.
damn, man. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, some like holiday special thing. Has he done that for anything else, like 50 or anything like that?
I don't think 50 was
Significant.
significant or anything like
True.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a weekly series, so the numbers aren't as important like that. Unless like 50 and 52 aren't really, at least.
I also think that's probably like the magazines that like pressure them to do it.
Oh,
Like, hey, one chapter 100's coming up. You probably should do something special so we can promote it.
well,
And the other thing is, for instance, with Flash's communicator, can he see the location of other heroes, or was it just Child Emperor and someone like Sekinga?
I think we haven't seen, but I would be surprised if it's just mostly like a call for help. So like when they're all flashing, like someone's in trouble and needs help.
I mean, but like, Child said that don't expect help, not because like they wouldn't find you, but because they're gonna be busy. So like, shouldn't if it's a transponder, shouldn't it also have the location ability? Like that's the only way that
Yeah.
like it would even make sense to use it for a call for help. You're not gonna fucking call somebody and give them directions like, like come here 10
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I would think. Like if the transponder is gonna be useful in general, it's gonna have to give you a location information as well. But
Yeah.
like you said, man, it's not revealed. But what is revealed are these hero comments. So let's hop into them. For chapter 98, we take to all the social medias, whether it's Reddit, Amino, Discord, everything we go to, and we asked a few questions of everybody for this week. The questions read as follows. Number 1, who looks cooler, G5, Phoenix Man, or Child Emperor's brave giant? What do you guys think?
Phoenix Man for me.
Yeah, Phoenix Man's gonna run away with this one.
Yeah, Phoenix Man just looks. He's crazy.
I love Brave Giant. He gets everything, but Phoenix Man's just he's got to take it. It's Phoenix.
He's so cool. He looks like he's simultaneously a villain and a hero.
For real, bro.
I mean, like when I saw Phoenix Man, like one of the things that popped in my head later was like, you're probably familiar with the story of like Hercules and the Nemean lion, and how Hercules and the Nemean lion, I think how he took out this lion and then kind of just or was it even Hercules, or was it the story of Leonidas and how he essentially it was a figure in history who took out a beast and then wore its skin.
Yeah, I think that happened in the Rock movie.
Yeah, so it would have been Hercules and the Nemean lion.
No, that sounds like a joke, but I'm like that up.
Yeah, because that Rock movie was Hercules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the Hercules story, he took out the Nemean lion and then wore its skin as kind of like I'm a badass kind of thing. And that's what it reminded me of. Is like how his beak is open, he's got a face beneath it, and it looked more like he was wearing the skin of a phoenix around him.
Bro, that was the funniest panel this fucking chapter, bro. Like after he gets smacked through the wall, bro. Look at Phoenix, man. All you see is the chicken head with a cool ass body.
What the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened?
Oh shit, bro. Just to like, I want to get into the art gallery section because like this one has some pretty iconic pictures.
He looks like a really powerful Yu-Gi-Oh monster.
Who, Phoenix Man?
Yeah.
I see that definitely.
Like an elemental hero?
Yeah, like when
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
fuse together.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Fuck, dog. But yeah, let's get into these hero comments. The second question that we asked for this week was, will G5 and Phoenix Man team up, or will one die before they get the chance? I think we answered that kind of right.
Pretty much.
So which was a better reveal? Phoenix Man, the Cerberus, or the Gundam?
Phoenix Man.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm gonna go
Brave
with
Giant.
That's actually a tough one.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Brave Giant, man.
Am I allowed to say it's a draw?
Bro, don't pussy out, dog. Come on, make a choice.
Damn, why is that considered pussying out? They're equal in my opinion. Like I was hyped as hell when Phoenix Man came back, but then my like adrenaline dopamine levels just stayed consistent up until Brave Giant. It's like amazing. I don't know. All
Bro.
right, Phoenix Man. There you go.
Phoenix Man. All right.
Am I a brave boy now?
Bro, when Child Emperor threw his hand up, bro, you fucking saw the fucking Iron Man fucking iron core shit. I forgot what the fucking name of it. Arc reactor shit in his fucking wrist. And then fucking the walls fall apart, and he puts his hands out. Tighten up, nigga. Brave Giant. Fem! And he just, bro.
We got a preview of live reaction Grimm right there.
Bro, that was Brave Giant, bro. That was a suit up.
Giant.
That was a. He probably sounded like that too.
Who the hell was that? Who just said that? I looked down for a second. I hear some kids say, "Brave Giant." What?
Damn sure, damn sure wasn't me.
Fucking come save me.
Who the freaking goes soprano?
So, Sonic, do you want to take this moment to announce how you're actually the replacement for Child Emperor in the dub?
Yes, it's true. I am.
I turned this out
I
off,
think
bro.
it's a woman that does his voice.
Real.
I think just to end it off of that, I kind of saw the idea of Phoenix Man be in coming back, and I could see it because of the Phoenix. I remember last time you guys all spoke about the idea of giant robots joining. I didn't say it, but I was like, that's not going to happen. Like, I can't see that happening until like near the end after the organization stuff. So when that happened, I lost it. Brave Giant was just like, it was
Grimm the Prophet.
The accidental prophet.
I gotta admit, man, like my reaction was completely different. I mean, like I saw Phoenix Man and I was like, oh shit, this looks so dope. And when I saw Brave Giant, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But I didn't go apeshit. I was just like, this is what I was kind of hoping for this to happen. I mean, like especially after our last podcast where we were talking about Gundams and like Megazords and shit like that. But yeah, like, when I saw Phoenix Man, I went ape.
Not quite dope tier, but it falls into cool tier.
Fucking
Yeah.
Sundown. Whatever, dude. The final question we asked was, would Child Emperor die to the duo Gale, Wind, and Hellfire?
Say that again.
Would Child Emperor die to the duo Gale, Wind, and Hellfire?
Hell yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would go beyond child abuse.
Mhm.
Just to let YouTube know, we do not condone child abuse of any form. I think you're good.
Yeah, y'all niggas don't have heart, bro. Like, come on, bro. This man just put out a fucking droid. Like, come on, man.
I mean, if he's in that, then okay, that's a different situation. But if he's just strolling around, eating a lollipop, nigga, it's done.
Bro, why you
No, I
have to say it
think-
like that?
Even in the Brave Giant, I mean, like you have to remember how dangerous Hellfire and Gale Wind were. I mean, like these guys were crazy, and the only reason I think they would have even considered a loss, or we would have even considered them losing, is because they were up against Flashy Flash. I mean, we haven't really seen I don't know what Darkshine could do, but considering we've seen that he can like tank almost anything so far, I'm not too sure what they would have done against him. But they're simply too fast and skillful, I think, for Child Emperor to have ever handled, even with Brave Giant.
Let's see what Bardock thinks, because he says
Shout out to
definitely,
Bardock.
no doubt, Bardock the hero. For the first question, he says definitely G5, as in who looks cooler. What the fuck?
Looks
Bro.
cooler than Phoenix Man.
Bro, Bardock, I swear to God, smokes weed every single day, bro. Like pounds, man.
Nah, he's just foreign.
Robot Samurai
He's saying G5 looks cooler than Phoenix Man.
and Brave Giant.
Bruh.
Bardock also says that for the second question, Phoenix Man will die before G5. And G5 will beat Child Emperor, and Drive Knight will step in to save him.
Hey.
Oh, that's different.
Yo, Satsuki the Red. We might have to start tallying whatever we say, bro, because niggas need to take their L's. And then for the third question, the Gundam. Although I prefer Neon Genesis Evangelion kind of mecha. Is Child Emperor's mech like kind of lame looking compared to all the ones that you've seen in your lifetimes, or is it like just fine?
I think it's very fitting to him. It's not quite full blown, like grown up Gundam. Like it still has a chibi, you know that word chibi element to it. It's right in Child Emperor's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, like, it's got more of the cutesy element to it, rather than the kind of spiky, jagged versions of Gundams we've seen before.
Drift says that he says definitely Phoenix Man. I used to hate it, but his new design has really grown on me. 8 out of 10. He also thinks that I don't think they will team up at all. Instead, I think G5 will reveal himself to be Drive Knight and save Child Emperor from Phoenix Man. Shout out to Zhoniin. Wink, wink. You got yourself a gay lover there. Phoenix for the
Man,
third.
we're straight lovers. There's a difference. The balls don't touch.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we go to number 3.
What did I miss?
Phoenix Man's reveal was definitely the highlight of this chapter for me. # King Engine. No doubt, bro.
# King Engine?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, man.
King Engine is strong lately.
You already know, bro. You already know. That's the only way to get your comment read. Tag it King Engine.
I'll read Kisei's. All right. So the first question was who looks cooler? I believe G5, Phoenix Man, and Brave Giant. Kisei said G5. Second question, he says Phoenix Man and G5 are on the same team, but it seems like G5 is a lone wolf type of nigga. So one will die before they get a chance. And for the third question was, I believe, which reveal was better, and he said Phoenix Man, most definitely. # King Engine.
You already know. Bro, that shit don't sound like.
Look, if your heart sounds like that, you've got a problem.
Oh man.
It sounds like he's popping like 3 dicks out his mouth.
Oh.
All right. So top 3 gay things you said is why you shave your beard. So what's this rank? Oh, that's an off mic inside joke.
He's Bukaki Zhoniin.
Nani?
Consider trifles. Shout out to him. 1 G5. Is he saying G5 is cooler than Phoenix Man?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His comment should be unconsidered.
How could you say something so brave yet controversial? All right, number 2. I think Phoenix Man will die before, and G5 will go his mysterious way. That's interesting. That's a different take for sure. And you know what? That could happen. I would be upset about that because, like, come on, dude, you're giving us blue balls for sure with that. But, number 3, Phoenix Man Alive is a great insight into the way monsters and power-ups work in the series. Kill your monsters all the way dead, folks. Ah, there we go. We're coming full circle
True.
with the double tap. All right. 4, yes. If nothing else, they wouldn't have stood around and patiently waited for him to assemble all of his gear. King Engine, in big letters, bold.
Go ahead, and make the sound.
Bruh. Nah, that can't be the King's Engine, bro. That's like similar to. It's like similar to like Guts's Dragon Slayer sword and the newer Berserks. It just sounds like no, bro.
No,
Like that would not put.
I was
What-
gonna say,
what?
you mean his sword is similar to King's engine.
That sound would not put fear into my heart. Like if I heard that shit, I'd be like, huh?
Yo, if you heard it in real life and King was in front of you, you'd shit your pants.
Okay. If King was in front of me, okay.
And so would I.
If King was
Oh, shit.
towering over you, staring you down with those 3 scars running down his face, you'd definitely shit your pants.
Diarrhea just running down your leg.
If King's in front of me and he's making that noise, I'm calling a doctor.
Like on my phone. Like, hello, doctor?
You calling the doctor, the police, you tightening up your belt too.
Oh shit, man. Nah. All right. If anybody wants to read the next one, I think it's like God 47 or something.
God 47. Where is this guy?
Oh,
Okay.
I skipped a bunch, my bad.
Cool. I got it. So he says, so Godfrey says is number 1, Phoenix Man. G5 looks badass, but PM just looks monstrous and fits the newly attained dragon level threat. Yeah, fully agree. 2, Phoenix Man is going to die before G5. I feel like G5 has some importance to the story in regards to the organization, but that won't allow him to be killed off just yet, especially with the possibility that it's Drive Knight in disguise. And number 3, don't know about Mad Dog, but haven't seen Gundam, so I'll go with Phoenix Man. That's fair. Just a lot of Phoenix Man. It's Phoenix Man all in a row.
Marley K2000 says, here's a question. How many babies could Fubuki breastfeed?
Oh man.
What? Say that again? Say that again, but slow?
Here's a question. How many babies could Fubuki breastfeed?
I mean, like, what type?
Well, I mean, 2, but I mean, if she has dinner plate nipples, maybe like 5
What the
times.
fuck, bro? Dinner? Come on. What the fuck is
So-
that?
The art gallery.
Yeah, let's slide through the art gallery section.
I feel there are some deep-rooted issues our followers may have. You can see a doctor anywhere you are in this world. Just
That's Marley Key. He's that's his thing.
What the fuck does that mean?
He's
sure
just
if that makes it any better. He
he's
still needs to
that
see a
character
psychiatrist.
in our story.
I'll collect that Fubuki picture in the art gallery, though. I know that.
You already know, bro.
I don't have that one in my archives.
Which one are you referring to? Good sir?
Your research archives.
Research, yes. One when she's sitting in a chair. I haven't had the pleasure of having that one yet.
Oh my! Please indulge yourself. No more.
Your archives, huh?
Archives,
just,
research
you just-
material.
Appreciate Murata's artwork.
Yes, certainly.
So Matt, lead the way, bro. Panel of the week candidate.
I think my favorite, like, there were ones with better art, but my favorite one was when he called Brave Giant, because it was just like like my head started spinning, like figuring out what was going to happen and just like it piecing together, and like a giant robot was going to show up. Like the best one was probably Phoenix Man bursting through, but Brave Giant was so.
Oh, you cut out, bro.
Oh shit, me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you cut out? What?
I
You
think
didn't cut
got
out for me.
snapped.
Oh,
Yeah, he's typing. I think. Go ahead, Suzuki.
Did you?
No, we heard you. You said.
Oh.
We just didn't hear the last.
Okay.
word.
so the panel for me was the panel where I think didn't I already post this? I think I posted it. It's when Phoenix Man broke through the barriers, and I actually didn't even know it was 5 barriers because I was speed reading. So Like I didn't even realize it was 5 barriers, but uh, just knowing that before he could not fuck with those barriers, and then we see that panel where he looks like a phoenix. Like that was a panel like you're like, oh shit, like now he's about to wreck some shit. So that was the panel for me.
Oh my gosh. This is a fucking panel, bro. Fuck, man. This has got to be like, all right, man. 2 candidates. Sundown. What's your candidate for the panel of the week?
Yeah, panel of the week for me, man. Easy. We just see that flash of light. We see an explosion of energy, and then we see freaking Phoenix Man reincarnated for the first time. It has its dragon level classification, double spread, easily the best like double spread we've had this chapter.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ever. I'm like, nigga, relax.
Nah. Ever. That's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah. Damn, man. Hey, that's gonna be hard to beat. That's obviously the panel we've all been discussing in the entire community. Zhoniin.
All right, so mine is a little weird. I don't know why I appreciate it. Just because they decided to go that far. So G5, when he initially draws his swords, he draws them simultaneously, but like he has 2 long swords at his side, and typically whatever I see from a samurai is like they have one sword that they use primarily for combat, and then they have like a shorter one for seppuku, I think, for the most part. I know Grimm said before that sometimes they have 3 swords, but in this case G5 has 2 long swords, and normally when you draw a sword, especially a katana, you cross draw it from like right to left or left to right, but in this panel Murata just went out of his way to show us that G5 draws with his left hand, so he can cross draw with his right hand as well. It's just a nice little touch.
That shit looks so badass, bro. Like he's imposingly drawing his blade, like.
Yeah, and he's talking shit at the same time. It's just really cool.
Damn, bro.
Another kind of candidate for one of the best panels was the
Oh, you
triangle
getting too, bro?
formation of
You
the
fucking
underdog
cheater?
men.
You cheater?
The underdog men. Their
Genuinely,
triangle
I-
formation.
All right.
It's
Right
the
before they
best
turn
in
into
the simple
Cerberus.
way.
Right before he turns into the underdog Cerberus kind of
Bro.
thing. Definitely one of the best.
Fuck you. Bro, that shit was trash. That shit was
Bro,
trash.
they're so good though. They're like cheerleaders, and then they turn into this 3-headed BS looking dude. I'm just like, it was so good. I really like that panel.
I was like, what the fuck? They hopped on each other's backs. Oh shit. My panel is a little out of the ordinary too. It was actually one of the bottom parts of a page, the bottom panel of a page, where Child Emperor basically just says like fuck it, and he pulls out his lightsaber, his sword, and the appendages come out of his backpack. And he stands in front of Ogama, and he's in his stance. He's gonna protect it. He literally says, "I'll just defeat it one more time," and like, just seeing that change of pace. If you guys read the previous chapter consecutively with this one, you'll see and you'll notice that like it's just new tech every time. Child Emperor deals with like almost every issue with a new form of technology. We keep seeing that. So to see that he reverts to, okay, I'm gonna stop doing all these tricks. Let me just take it on for real. Like this is what I can do. That really that hyped me up. That hyped me up a lot. I would have loved to see him actually do something about it physically, but I'm glad that he didn't, because that would have taken away from Phoenix Man's portrayal physically. There's no reason why a child should be able to like deal with a fucking dragon level threat like that. I accepted it in this occasion because that shield is strong as fuck, bro. That shit looks strong as fuck. Dog. That shit looks strong as fuck, like strong as fuck, dog.
Yeah, it has to be to take that strike from Phoenix Man.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly not made out of cardboard.
Yeah. So, that was my favorite panel, man. I think that looked fucking amazing.
Yeah, I just feel like Zhoniin's point of the samurai-esque kind of long sword or their usual primary katana, and then they usually have a shorter one, usually like a kodachi or something like that. I'm not sure if the second one is ever used for seppuku, but I think it has been. But yeah, I've always liked that concept as well. I mean, like the two swords, one's longer, one's shorter, and just to be able to use in different situations. I mean, there's times when a long sword is favorable and a shorter, more swift blade is more useful. And I think this just points to the fact that G5 definitely has a two-bladed style rather than using one primarily. But we did see him come out first against Child Emperor using one blade. So I'm not sure if this is like his serious mode, serious punches or something like that. But
That's a good point. That is true. He did use one sword at first.
So, what are we voting as the actual panel of the week then? You can't vote for your own. Fucking.
Well, shit.
This bullshit. I'm
You
gonna
use
vote
two.
for Satsuki. Did you say the Phoenix one?
Yep.
As in the one where he looks like, yeah, he's just broken through the 5 barriers.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I'm gonna vote for that.
Just quickly, Grim, what did you say was yours? Sorry, I cut out.
When Child Emperor breaks into his stance, pulls out the shield and the lightsaber with the appendages to take.
Oh
him
yeah,
first,
of course. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I agree with Satsuki though. It's the Phoenix one.
Oh man, fuck.
Yeah, make that 3.
Damn, dog. You know what? Just to be different, I'm gonna pick Mad Dog. That's like,
Yes.
All right, so we come to a consensus that Phoenix panel was the best. This is just another instance of Murata's like inconceivable artistic capabilities. Well, I said it before and I'll say it again. Fuck Marco the Phoenix, bro. Like, it's just the realest nigga on the block. No, it was.
You must be Team Blackbeard or something.
You already know, bruh. You already know,
Oh
dog.
yeah.
You already know, man. Blackbeard's running this shit. Is there
And
anything
just like how the moment Blackbeard got mentioned, we got 4 zahahahas.
Okay, man. All right, guys. That's it for this session's One Punch Man podcast. We got some fire ass shit coming in these next few chapters. I'm super excited to see how those things develop. And we're not even to the main fucking cast yet, bro. We're seeing side niggas that look fucking badass. Like, this is how great One Punch Man is. Imagine when we get to Genos and the boys. We're gonna get to see that motherfucker get super bodied and some cool shit along the way. Amazing stuff. We know Iain's gonna put in some fucking work. We know fucking Atomic Samurai's gonna fucking put in work. But I don't know about them sweet niggas and shit. I don't know about them. They're looking a little soft, bro. Flashy might get bodied in this next fight. Who knows?
There's more. Oh, okay. Sweet, as in Sweet Mask and Flashy. He's sweet as well.
Hey, man. Hey.
So anyone who's handsome is sweet.
That's how it is, bro. That's some sweet niggas.
Well, Genos is sweet.
I think that's
no homo.
That's no.
Everyone's just dishing out their preferences. I mean, like Flashy wears heels, so I can see kind of where you're coming from.
Yeah, it is suspect.
I mean, has anybody considered?
Our boy Phoenix Man has heels too.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Does he?
shit.
Man,
Yeah.
Man.
Those aren't heels, bro. Those are protrusions from his claws, bro. That's what it is.
Oh, that's
No,
a
he's-
-5.
He's got like 3-4 main claws forward facing, and then he has this arch and then a heel, dude.
That's a
Have-
-5.
Have any of you guys played Metal Gear Revengeance?
Oh yeah, Raiden.
No, I
has heels
haven't.
too.
Yeah, exactly the same concept.
Tactical heel.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't vote him panel of the week then, if he's on this questionable ass shit. But that'll be it for this session, guys. Check out everybody's channels and stuff. We got a lot of content coming out. Check out Zhoniin's videos for One Punch Man. He feeds the community in between the podcasts. Plentiful nourishment. Check out the Hunter x Hunter Kings content. He don't fuck with One Punch Man though, apparently.
Hey, man, listen. I'm on my Tagashi shit. I'm lazy as hell. We'll get to it eventually.
I heard Satsuki was the #1 Hunter x Hunter viewer.
I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, like, you know.
Hey, you guys got to check it out and judge for yourself.
And then Matt, bro, like, all right, I just gotta point this out, bro. Matt has the funniest intros, like every single video. This nigga fucks up every single video. Man. check out Matt's channel for a good ass laugh and a good ass fucking review for
Genuinely, sometimes it's intentional, but 90% of the time now it's technical and I don't know what it is. Just everything hates me. Like, why? I hate myself now.
check out Sundown's reviews for One Piece, Seven Deadly Sins, and One Punch Man. The beard is growing. Hashtag
It's coming back, guys.
It's gonna come back.
The beard, don't worry.
Yeah, and don't worry if y'all were wondering where my beard went. It's not homo. It's not gay to wonder where someone's beard went.
It's not top 3 gayest things you could say.
I mean, as we've mentioned before, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's barely hitting the 1. So it's cool. Don't worry about it.
Yo ho ho!